Oberdorf.
Here.
Eckel.
Here.
Marquette. Bruce.
Here.
Heben.
Here.
Reynolds.
Motion to excuse Ms. Reynolds.
Second. All those in favor of excusing Ms. Reynolds, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Is there a motion to approve the minutes for the October 24th, 2022 regular council meeting?
Second. All those in favor of approving the minutes from October the 24th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain. Is there a motion to approve the agenda for the November 14th, 2022 regular council meeting?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor of approving the agenda for November the 14th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. No committee reports tonight. Beth and Tony, do you want to go now?
Yeah, that'd be great. Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me
Yeah.
quickly grab something for everybody here, Kevin.
Thank you.
This is
Thank you.
a report on the 125th anniversary celebration. So it is,
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think you all should have a copy of the booklet, so I won't try to go through all the details, but it is, so quickly, the committee has been meeting over the last several months, and on that sheet is a list of the committee members on the backside who are part of that committee. I'm acting as chairman. Christine Goldsmith, Judy Sikorsky, Mark Vasilishin, Tom Mueller, Dave Foley. Cody is on that board, Kathy Schell, Emily Langendorfer, Tasha Hiltz, Kimberly Johnson, Virginia Burks, Beth Jensen, and Julianne Jarnier. So those are all the members of the committee. 2023 is the 125th anniversary of the formation of the city. And so we planned a number of events starting in April. There'll be magazines. There'll be a beginning ceremony on Sunday, April 2nd. There'll be a downtown involvement where the Rossford businesses are all involved. There will be a tour of the Eagle Point and some of the homes. There'll be a tour of the murals at the Rossford Library. There will be some ticketed events. There will be a dinner or a cocktail party at the old Ford Mansion in the Hamlet. And so that'll happen. And then in July, we'll have not only the tour of the NSG again, as we've done in the past, but we'll have an evening event at Rossford High School, tours of the high school, IPS tours, bars, hors d'oeuvres, things like that will all go on. We'll have glass blowing, so that's all part of the process. If you beginning of the event really is, if the final event is really Friday the 28th, and then Saturday the 29th, which will include a parade as well as the fireworks that is part of your normal, what do they call it? Riverfest fireworks. So we combined with them. You'll find on the inside a list of the sponsors. And they're not sponsors yet, as yet, but we are raising money from corporations and different people to help pay for the cost of this. You'll find on the backside a list of the expenses that we think we're going to incur. And there is we're expecting to raise about $63,000. We expect to spend probably close to that $60,000. You'll see a list of all the things that are involved in that activity. The only thing I would ask here is that the council and the mayor consider creating a 125th anniversary celebration proclamation, which is what is handed out to you here. That's something that we probably ought to try to do before the beginning of December at some point in time, because we're going to go ask people for money. We're going to also ask other cities to also join in and create proclamations, wishing the the city of Rossford well in their 125th anniversary celebration.
Tony, you want that done by December?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's no problem.
So you'll see on the second page something that I think is going to be attractive. It'll be people who are coming to some of the dinners be given away as a gift as part of your donation. But it is it's a piece of glass that has been made by Fire Nation that includes Vitrolite, which is one of the products that LOF made. And you can see it in the picture in the back side, which I think is a pretty cool thing. It'll have a seal on the bottom of it, which will really look nice. So that's no action on my part. I just wanted to inform the council and the mayor about what we're doing. Thank you very much.
Any questions from Mr. Knight? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Beth?
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'll keep this short. I know you probably have a busy night. I just wanted to, I was asked to come in and present the 2022 annual report and 2023 outlook. I've given you a book which you can, look through at your leisure. But just I want to point out a couple of things about the year. We had as you all know, the Convention and Visitors Bureau receives its funding from a quarter of the bed tax. 3/4 goes to general fund, quarter goes to Convention and Visitors Bureau to promote tourism and visitors and promote Rossford. And over the last couple years with the pandemic, funds, you can see we've got a chart on there of our income through the various years, starting in 2011 when the CVB started, when the second 3% bed tax was enacted. And we've kind of charted that out so you can see how it's going. This year was a much better year. Things are coming back around. We also have our, new ownership for some of the hotels that haven't been paying in the past that are now paying their lodging tax, which is great. We've been focusing a lot on attendance of events and economic impact, and you can see down at the bottom of page 2 here, total sports, and I have our total sports manager who is here, who's also the chairman of our board, Tracy Pappas, and they've been doing a lot of tournaments, many of those in conjunction with the Rossford Dome, and the tournament impact of that, they've brought in 63,000 visitors in 2022 with an estimated $1.2 million of economic impact to the community. Stroll the Street, even though that's more of a local event, it does bring people in from Northwest Ohio. It's bringing more and more people in. We got a lot of people, not only coming over from Perrysburg and saying, this is a little different than Perrysburg. We like it. We're coming over. But Sylvania, Henry County, and Lucas County, a lot of people from Lucas County coming in, so that's always nice, and that does have economic impact. The Walleye Tournament this year had 84 participants, and we estimate about 200 people that came out to watch the weigh-ins and so forth on the 2 days for estimated impact of $64,000. And then we had about 40 bus tour groups come in, and that's about a $210,000 impact to the area. The way I got these figures, if you're wondering, is Destination Toledo, which we're a member of. It's the Toledo Convention and Visitors Bureau. They have they pay for a program that can run all the figures for you. You just let them know the participants, what the dates are, how many hotel nights, things like that, and they can run the economic impact, which is great, and they share that with us as a member. You can also see under Destination Marketing by the Numbers, we had a lot of media coverage. I think really moving, for example, Stroll the Streets to Tuesday nights was great. We had television stations out here. 3 times we had 3 stations on one night, and one time during the summer we had 2 television stations here. So great coverage for that. Also got a lot of newspaper coverage for that, a lot of coverage for our other events and activities. So we estimate about 12,500,000 and change impressions that were made. And we've got some initiatives that we listed here. We did launch a new website. We, of course, produced a new visitor guide we promoted Rossford in Ohio and Toledo visitor guides, created a Ford Memorial mural brochure, and just a host of other things. We were a community partner. All the organizations that local and state and also throughout the U.S. that we're involved in. And then if you flip to the back, we just have a real brief for you, strategic plan and budget that we're looking at for 2023, proposed income or projected income, and then proposed expenses. We also have several objectives that we update every year. This is a brief overview of each of the objectives, including a financial one, a marketing, operational, and destination development. We're planning on, with a 6th hotel coming into Clark Drive, we really think that that's a great opportunity to promote that group of hotels in the community because of location, I-75 and the Turnpike, and just the proximity to everything around. There are some things, that could be done to enhance that. I'm trying to find if anybody has any information or tips on somebody who would be interested in that Indian motorcycle property. It'd be great to have a restaurant, and that could be some event space in there right there. I have one hotelier that says they could fill that every weekend for weddings. We, might need to add some event space onto it, but it's a fairly large building, needs a little more parking space, but it's 2.5 acres. It's been for sale now for quite a long time and empty for over a year, about a year and a half now since the last company moved out. So I think there's potential there, or even making that warehouse space into a brewery. But, you've got hundreds, a minimum at like 75% occupancy, you've got a minimum of 500 or more people every night looking for food on Clark Drive. They have to travel, and most of them are traveling, to Perrysburg. They're going out of the community. So I've been sending that packet out from Harbaugh to anybody I think of, anybody I talk to that knows anybody that's, has a potential interest in putting a restaurant in, because it'd be great. I listed our board of directors that we have currently for this year and our employees. And thank you for having me here. I appreciate all that the city helps us with, particularly Public Works with Stroll the Street. Such a wonderful help to come out and, put all that up every week and take the trash out and everything. It's very, very, very helpful to us. So we appreciate everything, and thanks for having me here.
Does anybody have any comments or questions? Go ahead, Robert.
It is amazing, and I've been part of this group, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now, what Total Sports does. When you look at their income, and oftentimes it kind of goes unnoticed, but it's pretty amazing what they do down there.
Come up and speak to that real quick.
I can if you
Yeah,
guys want me to.
just for a minute.
Just briefly, when it comes to economic impact, what we listed in terms of amount at the 1.2 million is just an indicator of the hotel stays that we get. Overall, we're looking at about $4.4 million in economic impact that would include our just everyday, programming, as well as those tournaments. So not just us, we share that with our Rossford Dome across the street, which is a very unique feature for Rossford. So I'm really excited to be a part of it. I think, indoor sports, Northwest Ohio, Rossford is the hub, and it's very exciting to have all of that right here in this community. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then my only other comment was last time you guys were here, over the last 5 years, I think there was the committee and they were looking at Ford Memorial, and we had a project and raised money and we bought materials, and that was kind of put on hold. Mayor, you said for a couple of weeks you wanted to talk to some folks. Obviously, we're out of building season, but are we back on track to get that back?
Yeah, Allison, I don't have to do a big formal thing. If you want to show these guys what some conceptual drawings that.
Give me 1 second here.
So the plan, do you want me to speak on it, Mayor? or do you want
Sure.
to? Would be to not only have the Edward Ford Memorial, that park, but actually to have that lead across to the new courtyard space that the city purchased that's in between buildings. So we've been working with Edge Landscape Design. They came up with a bunch of concepts, and if you see here up in the corner, there's a red rectangle. That would be a stage in the back corner of Edward Ford Memorial that would work in with everything that they have currently at the gazebo site, and it wouldn't in any way impede what they do for Stroll the Street, and it would give everyone that's coming down the street either way a view of whatever was going on in the back corner. If you see when you come towards the front, there's actually a small square. It's white. You probably can't see it on that, but it would be a kiosk, and it would be so everyone would know the information of what was going on in the park. Somebody could staff it during events. Then we actually are going to get money from TARTA for the light funds in order to make a pedestrian crossway there. It'll be a hawk. It'll have the blinking lights, so then we can cross over, and then you'll be in front of the Papa Moose Donuts, and then they'll enhance that sidewalk area, and it'll go right down into what is going to be our new courtyard space. For the courtyard space, there's been a lot of different thoughts. It'll be a welcoming place. It'll have seating on either side, outdoor seating. It'll have a large space in the center that is open, grassy, so that in the wintertime, we may be able to freeze it and have ice skating. In the summertime, we would have giant Jenga, outdoor things like that to do. And then the back space, you could have food trucks that would pull in and out in the back, as well as more seating. And it would have the Edison lights strung throughout, and it would incorporate all of the downtown. So it would come across the street, and it would have both sides. It would have plenty of additional seating, because that's always an issue during Stroll the Street, is the lack of seating. And it would be the opening or the beginning of our Dora, and it would leave down the rest of the street for the downtown. And these are some of the concept ideas that we had. We could have stage, Edison lights, tables, outdoor area. Again, nothing is decided, nothing is for sure yet, but these are the concept ideas that we came up with in order to tie the two spaces together to create more sit-down space, more space for the community to come out and gather and enjoy our downtown, and hopefully it'll bring more businesses to our downtown area.
I mean, it's nice we're incorporating the space. I guess I'm a little surprised the fact that we've gone 5 years down a path with a lot of fundraising, a lot of donated time from engineers and architects, design firm that designed what we had with participation from the city, to a completely different plan that we spent money on. And maybe I missed it at a council meeting or a committee meeting, but never went through any committee to even talk about bringing edge on in the concept. So I guess in that aspect, I'm very disappointed in the fact that we had a plan that was 5 years in the works by a large cross-section of the community, with a lot of donated time and effort, fundraising, and even bought materials, and we just sort of scrapped it from when we met before, and you said, I just want to talk to an individual on some lighting and sound to go into this. So that's, I guess I'm just disappointed in that, because it pretty much tossed everything else out the window. So.
This is better.
That's your opinion, but I think it's disrespectful for the group that did it with raising funds to do it, and then to go out and do this without it going through any committees and facilities is disappointing. So I'm not sure where that leaves what CBB has done in the fundraising, that it's done in the building materials that have been bought, purchased, or in waiting for something that was actually supposed to be constructed prior to this past Stroll the Street season. So,
Anyone else? Okay. Allison, did you want to, or Chris, want to talk about Dora? let council know where everything's at.
You can go, Allison.
Okay. So when I got here, council had already discussed having a DORA. And so the next step is an application to the state. So we began, again, this is, again, like the previous thing I just spoke about, this is just beginning considerations. So this is the application to the state. As part of it, you would need to have the street addresses. Our specific boundaries would be downtown Dora. It's comprised of approximately 25 acres. It would commence on the north side of Dixie Highway in front of 146 Dixie Highway, proceed west to the intersection of Eagle Point and Dixie Highway. That's where the Stop and Shop is. Then it would cross the street and it would extend down to 969. So then it would go on the other side of the street from Rite Aid down to the new bowling alley. On the other side of the street, it would begin in front of 153 Superior Street, and it would proceed down to the intersection of Glenwood and Superior. So we do have a picture of that coming up. We have to have signage in the door. You'll see that as well. Public safety, we've spoken with the Rossford Police Department, and they are certain that they are able to enforce any rules, anything that would be out of, if we'd have a big influx of people, obviously, we might be required to have more people on staff, but we may also ask whoever's putting on that event to help with the assistance on paying for those. We have also spoken with Tyler and his group. We were going to get more trash cans, trash receptacles in the downtown area, probably 15 to 20 more in order to take on the Stora. So there are 4 establishments that are within the boundaries of Dora. They would be Billy V's, Danny's, Forest View Lanes, and Moe's. And we'll move on to, that's all of the Ohio Revised Code that is necessary. Exhibit B shows the boundaries and the parcels that are involved in Dora. So again, it starts down on the other side of IPS. It travels down to the library, crosses the street to the Stop and Shop, then it bumps across the street to Rite Aid, and it goes down to where it ends here at the bowling alley area. On the other side of the street, it would start on Superior in front of our new property, and it would extend down to the intersection of Glenwood and Superior. So it completely leaves out the school. Nobody will ever be traveling in or around the school area.
Right across the street, but
We also have to list every single property, the parcel number, and the address for the DORA. In Exhibit D, we need to show the signage of where we enter and exit the DORA. We would have signs as we enter on at the IPS, as you enter across the street in front of the new property the city owns. There'd be an exit one down at the intersection. The city also owns that property at the intersection of Glenwood and Superior. Then there'd also be signage down at the Stop and Shop and the Rite Aid, and then finally down at the bowling alley. So everyone would know when they were entering or exiting the DORA area. These would be the signs. We would be required to have signs that indicate that you are entering the DORA, the outdoor, designated outdoor refreshment area. There'd be signs that said, "Welcome to the Rossford DORA," and then there'd also be signs that say, "No DORA cups beyond this point." On the cups, it will actually give the directions. You can't probably see it because the print is too small, but it tells what the DORA is, the expectations during the DORA, that you can't, not every single property or parcel is required to participate in the DORA, but lots of businesses will want to participate in the DORA, so they would have a sign in their window as well that would indicate that you are allowed to come in with your cup. And then there, you have to have a visual of the DORA cup, so that would be the Rossford DORA cup, and then it shows that on our zoning map, it's commercial, it's retail commercial, and everything within the DORA is, where we have the DORA lined up would fit within our zoning classification as it currently exists here in the city of Rossford. And that would be our application to the state. Again, this is early on, but we wanted to let everyone know because I know they've been waiting, that we are getting ready, and it'll be up to the council to move forward on that.
Okay, any comments or questions?
I'm the only one with comments tonight. So you said it meets all our zoning classification. So we've got around the school by jumping across the street, but the library it doesn't matter that we're going in
We
front
can
of
do it at the school.
I don't want to do it
Well,
at this.
that's why we didn't do it.
But
That's a city sidewalk, so if we
If
wanted-
you're serious about redeveloping downtown Rossford,
it's supporting the bars in downtown Rossford. We're building a parking lot next to one bar, we're building an outdoor area next to another bar. That's what we're supporting.
please don't tell me what I'm supporting.
Well,
I'm supporting now and the
You
future of
told me
downtown.
Neil, you told me your feeling that your plan was the best plan, and it didn't matter what other people developed. I'm giving you
No,
my
I said that
opinion.
plan is better.
Yeah, and I feel my comments are better than your comments on this. We're supporting the bars. So I'm allowed to voice my
I
opinion.
believe they serve food too,
I can voice my opinion, and you can voice yours.
no doubt.
So.
Anyone else? Okay. Correspondence.
No correspondence, Mayor.
Introduction of ordinances. Is there a motion to read ordinance 2022-59 by title only?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2022-59 is an ordinance authorizing the repeal of Rossford Municipal Code, Chapter 726, rental dwelling registration, and enacting a new Rossford Municipal Code, Chapter 726, rental dwelling registration. This is the second reading.
Allison?
This needs to go another reading. This was actually, Mark did quite extensive work on this to make sure everything, when it was changed in the text, was changed. So we would like, actually, the council to do another reading on this.
Okay, is there a motion to read ordinance 2022-66
So
by
moved.
title only?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2022-66 is an ordinance authorizing an expenditure from the Community Housing and Impact Preservation Program and declaring an emergency. This is the first reading.
Allison?
You guys are probably aware, this is the CHIP program, and this is where a certain income amount of people here in Rossford, if they had issues or repairs that they needed to have done to their home, if they qualify under a certain guideline, then they would use these funds from the CHIP. We just need to be able to pay it out, and because it's over $50,000, it needs to come to council. We have participated in the CHIP program for years, I think, and it's all established at the county, and they actually administer it.
Go ahead.
I motion to suspend with the second and third reading.
Second.
Anyone in the audience have a problem with us passing this evening, or any questions in regards to it? No.
All those in favor of suspending with the second and third reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to declare ordinance 2022-66 an emergency.
Second. All those in favor of declaring an emergency, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move to adopt.
Vote on the motion to adopt ordinance 2022-66. Heben?
Aye.
Toth?
Aye.
Oberdorf?
Aye.
Eckel?
Aye.
Marquette?
Aye.
Roos?
Aye.
Is there a motion to read ordinance 2022-67 by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2022-67 is an ordinance declaring the improvement of certain parcels or real property to be a public purpose, declaring such property to be exempt from real property taxation, designating specific public infrastructure improvements that, once made, will directly benefit the parcels for which improvement is declared to be a public purpose, requiring annual service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund, approving a compensation agreement with the Rossford Exempted Village School District, providing related authorizations pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Sections 5709.40B, 5709.42, 5709.43, 5709.82, 5709.83, and 5709.85, and declaring an emergency. This is a first reading.
Can you do that again, please?
Yeah, could you,
Allison, is this needed to
Second
be
that.
passed tonight?
It does not need to be passed tonight.
So
This
good-
is the
good call.
creation of the orange TIF. You're all familiar with the Skinnell
So we
properties.
can leave it go first reading.
Can we get a map up next time
Yep,
showing
I'm
the-
sorry. I thought there was a map included.
Oh, it's on the back.
So it's the white properties?
I'm sorry, it's not in color.
It's basically the property south of Buck.
it's everything in black and white.
I'll pull it. Oh, give me a second. Gosh, where am I at here? Okay.
What property did she say this was for? Skinnell?
It's all right in here.
Yeah, basically everything in that triangle.
Okay,
The parcel to the northeast of the intersection.
Sorry.
okay.
Here. This one, sorry. This one.
It was the property basically that the city annexed a couple of years ago.
So everything in that heavy blue boundary. About 234 acres.
So it would be here and then all of this.
This year's investment in that area was about $40 million. We expect the full development up to 280, so somewhere between $280 million in improvements. That would
My apologies. I'll make sure this is cut out and in a map that's easier to read next time. I'm sorry. I didn't look at it before and saw that the other map was black and white. My
It's all good.
apologies.
Mr. Watts, was there any resolutions this evening?
None.
Okay, before we go to council remarks, I want to thank everybody that participated in the Rossford Halloween Parade. I think I've been going to them pretty much since they started, and I felt this one was extra special. Obviously, I'm probably a little biased, but I thought everybody that participated and put it together did a fantastic job. And Toby, a very special thanks to you. That was your first time doing something like this, and you killed it. It was wonderful. It exceeded, I think, everybody's expectations. And no pressure, you just got to double it next year. I'm kidding. No, you did a wonderful job. Thank you. Okay, council remarks. Mr. Towe.
Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and reiterate wonderful job to Toby and his committee for the parade.
Mr. Oberdorf.
Thanks. I hope everybody has a nice Thanksgiving. Toby, you did a great job at Recreation Committee tonight. As a matter of fact, Mayor, we were talking about how to make it double.
Right.
Right, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was a lot of fun sitting next to Abraham Lincoln. Thank you.
Yes.
Is that your first time?
Mrs. Zacco.
I'm being in.
I agree. Abraham Lincoln was the highlight of the float. That was so awesome. That made me so happy when I got there and saw you all dressed up around her. Just wanted to make a note that the Public Safety Committee meeting is the 22nd at 5:15, okay? Or you want to know 5:30?
That's fine.
Okay.
5:15.
5:15.
When is that? I'm sorry.
What?
It moved, right, from Wednesday to Tuesday?
Yeah, because it's the day before Thanksgiving, so it'll be on the 22nd this month. Yeah, Toby did a great job. And at the rec committee meeting, there are like 100 kids out for Little Pups basketball, so it's like 14 teams. So
Awesome.
got good things going on at the rec center. That's all I have.
All right. Mr. Marquette.
Question, the Rossford carryout over here, I noticed they had some signage out front about the zoning change. That just have to do with the liquor license or?
They're going to add more signage than what our code allows. So they're going to have a BZA meeting, actually, I think it's tomorrow night, to address that.
That's all I have.
So yes.
Okay, Mr. Roos.
Nothing.
Mr. Heaven.
I'm fine, thank you.
Audience remarks. Go ahead, Jeff. State your name and address for the record, please.
Jeff Atwell, 177 Hannum Avenue. I guess one of my questions tonight was, so the fence that Danny has out, can you drink liquor out there at this present time? Maybe I missed it during,
No.
okay,
You can drink on the patio.
in the back patio,
Yeah.
but not in the front.
That I don't know.
Yes, on the front you can, as long as you don't go outside the gate.
Shouldn't that be part of the DORA? Isn't that public site, but it's not now. That's public sidewalk.
That's a liquor control.
Huh?
Liquor control, the city has nothing to do with it.
Liquor control can set that distance? Okay, all right, so that can go,
They have to
Billy V
apply.
could put one out? I mean, okay, all right.
If they get approved.
All right, okay. And, okay, how does that affect our maintenance?
Council approved, allowing that area to be fenced off.
Okay.
But whether they can serve liquor, that's the state of Ohio.
Okay,
Council.
but I mean, as far as maintenance goes, do we still maintain it, or does he maintain it? He maintains it. Well, I guess.
I'm not sure we get a snowplow inside that gate.
Well, but I'm saying, should anything happen inside there, the sidewalks crack, things like that, because that's a city sidewalk, they take care of that portion of it. The other thing is, since the city's showing so much prosperity these days, is there any talk about returning recycling to the, as part of one of the city provisions?
I would love that. It actually makes me sick every trash day when I throwing those plastic bottles and stuff away, but there's just no market for recyclables in the world right now. It just doesn't exist. And a lot of times, even if you have recycling, and this isn't something I read, this is something I was told by Waste Management, most of the time, your recycling goes into the regular trash with everything else.
Right, and I understand that the market has really fallen off for it, partly because of the Chinese, they used to buy it. The other thing is, there's a piece of property up on Hollywood Boulevard up for auction. Isn't that Rossford's development?
No, yes and no. That land is owned by Hunger USA, and that is the designated site for a potential entertainment district.
Right, and I thought Rossford was a big push on developing that, a big push.
We still
I thought that
are.
was part of our,
But it'll be with a different owner.
so, but is it Rossford property?
Yes.
That's in Rossford? Because I understand there's a portion of it in Northwood, part of that, half
The
of it?
very back east
They're
corner,
advertising it as in Northwood, in the Sunday paper, if you look in the auction section.
yeah, I didn't see it, I'll look, but that acreage
advertised
is
as-
in
advertised,
Rossford.
As-
You're talking right behind the, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
right
the auction's tomorrow.
in front of the casino?
Yep, the auction's tomorrow. And it's also under our tax records. And it's a very small tax, too. So it's like 4 acres of prime, and they're only getting like $1,200. It's only valued at $4,000, the tax value, $4,000.
It's non-revenue producing land, so it doesn't have really any value.
Okay. All right. There was one more thing, I think. No, I think that's it, because I was going to ask about the signs. So.
All right.
Yep, that's it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good job, Bob. Way to go.